Hi everyone, here to give you some bad news, I'm afraid. Joe Kinnear actually has signed for Newcastle on a 3-year deal. Joe Kinnear. You know what? I'm not even angry. Newcastle, you've broken my heart time and time again. And this is just the latest in shenanigans that you like to pull. Been with you now all my life, and yeah, there's going to be ups and downs. But is there any reason for the lows to be as low as they are? I mean, Joe Kinnear, his face scares dogs. Joe Kinnear, who believes he won Manager of the Year 3 times and actually only won it once, slightly mistaking the 2 Manager of the Month trophies for years. You know what? A month's like a year. That's understandable. Joe Kinnear, who can't actually say most of Newcastle players' names. Johan Kebab, Ben Affrey, Sisi, and Amanyabiubi. I mean, they're not difficult names. Joe Kinnear, who takes responsibility for other players' signings. For example, Graham Souness brought Tim Krul, James Perch was brought by Chris Hume. Joe Kinnear, who hasn't been a football manager for about 10 years. Joe Kinnear, who has a direct telephone line, almost like the commissioner, to every football manager in the land. Because that's special. Why? I'm just kind of baffled, to be honest. It also seems as though they're trying to solve a problem that actually isn't an issue. The one thing that Newcastle has right is that Graham Carr finds mint players. He will find a mint player for a cheap price, and that's his job. Sissoko, Gouffron, Ben Arfa, Cabaye, Santon, Debussy, Yang Mabia, even Cisse was only £8.5 million. Demba Ba was on a free. I mean, we can continue, but there's no need to. I mean, they're superstar players at knockdown prices. The one thing that we do well, and that's the one where Mike Ashley thinks Graham Carr needs to say, can I please buy this footballer? Well, it should be yes. Graham Carr should be director of football. He should be able to do whatever he wants to do. He should be given the key to the city and be able to have full responsibility for signings because he's got a pretty damn good record of late. On the other side, does Pardew need some support? Maybe. I've got nothing wrong with the director or the idea of a director of football, but why Joe Kinnear? Why does it seem like jobs for boys? Oh, I've had you before. You're not too bad, although you're absolutely sweary arsehole. Coming in, you can then have an office in the training ground and basically just watch whatever Pardew does. Is there a lack of mistrust between Derek Lambias and Pardew? Perhaps. Yes, I get it. Improvements are needed because Newcastle had a god-awful season. I was there for most of it. I would say a good 50% of that season. I was watching Newcastle get beat left, right and centre at home. So he's not that much better away. So yes, is there improvements required? Definitely. Is Joe Kinnear going to solve those? Probably not. Where we'll have to give props is the reaction online. The Bedsheet Brigade haven't been out yet, or I've not seen them on Sky Sports News. And what the Newcastle fans have done is kind of with a smirk, took it in best humour. Football fans are very well known, apart from a couple of clubs, Chelsea, Millwall, of having a good sense of humour and kind of making light of horrible situations. So, this morning, a lot of Newcastle fans bombarded the Newcastle United Twitter account in a Spartacus kind of way, suggesting, hey, I'm the new director of football, come speak to me. Some people started spamming Sky Sports, just, yeah, give us a ring, I'm the new director of football. It's not too far away from what Joe Kinnear has done. Then on the later on, they've also kind of got a trend going of what would Kinnear do to your name? I think Liam James isn't that difficult. would he pronounce me Liam Mohammed? Maybe. Really. I mean, I'm trying not to get angry. Hopefully that's coming across that inside pretty furious, but it's been done now. So let's try and take it with good grace and try and make the most fun of it possible. Where my concern is his influence on the team. He's already shown in chasing out Charles Nzogbia by calling him Charles Nsomia that he's not a very good people person. Charles Nzogbia was at that point one of our more creative players. Do we want him to do the same thing now? If Ben Arthur leaves our football club, where that's all the creativity gone, we're such an ordinary side with him out of the team. And if Ben Arthur goes, which he may, he's a fabulous footballer, deserves to be playing in the Champions League. It's Champions League, Liverpool. So don't try and sign him. If he goes, if he takes a hump, which he may because he's fallen out with every other manager he's ever been under, apart from Alan Pardew, if he takes a hump about this guy stomping in, calling him whatever, how is he going to react? If he goes, then that's all of the creativity out of the club, and that doesn't leave a lot else for goals and assists, I'm afraid. It's just going to be like last season, but even worse. So, Joe Kinnear could be an absolute disaster for Newcastle United. Are Newcastle going to go down? You'd hope not. I mean, Palace, Steve Bruce's Hull, Cardiff, they're in the Premier League next season. Can we be better than those three? Hopefully. Were Newcastle better than some of the brought side last season? No. For the vast majority, only just on some others. So it's a concerning time. But what can you do? It's your football club. You're stuck with your football. It's worse than a marriage. It's kind of, oh, this is my team that I support. And you don't really have a choice in it. I signed up for my season ticket, so I'm paying my £500 or whatever it is. I don't even look, to be honest, to get the pleasure to go and watch a side that Joe Kinnear is a director of football for. Could be flipping tables, could be ranting and swearing, but there's that just kind of grim reality where it's just like, ugh, really, Joe Kinnear. Joe Kinnear, who birds don't even shit on. Joe Kinnear, who was working as a cocktail waitress when he met Mike Ashley. Joe Kinnear, who's very respectful to Robbie Bobson. I had hoped, along with a lot of other people, that the whole Kinnear thing was a prank. That somebody had rang up Kinnear, pretending to be Derek Arbyers, and go, yeah, come on, come to our club, we'll give you a 3-year deal, we'll give you a final say. And you know what you should do? You should ring Sky Sports and tell them. Don't wait for us. We'll get our way around it. But no, you should ring Sky Sports. You know what? Go on Talk Sport. Let the country and the planet hear what you think, what your plans are. Yeah, definitely. You should definitely do that. That sounds like something a professional football club would tell its director of football. So there was always that hope until today that Joe Kinnear had been duped into acting a clown, and everyone could have sat back and had a good laugh. Unfortunately, it's now been announced, and yeah, that's Joe Kinnear. Joe bloody Kinnear. Will Alan Pardew stay? Would you stay if Joe Kinnear was then vetting your transfers and decisions? I would probably not, to be honest. Although I don't have an 8-year deal and quite a lot of money, apparently, that needs to be paid back, allegedly. I don't know. Was Pardew even consulted? Probably not. Would he have picked Joe Kinnear? Look, if you're going to get a director, what's right? What does the director of football do? Director of football is to try and give the manager responsibility and kind of just dealing with the team and the coaching so he doesn't have to worry about that side of things. Great. No issues with that whatsoever. That can work. We've already got a good plan where Graham Carr and Alan Pardew work together in relation to the transfers. So Graham Carr does all the kind of scouting so Alan Pardew doesn't have to. And yes, there may be kind of contract dealings that Pardew kind of wants not to have the responsibilities to then put that onto someone else. Again, that's fine. Isn't that technically what the managing director would do? Isn't that Derek Lambias's job? Is Lambias even there on a full-time contract? Is Lambias there on a part-time contract? And Joe Kinnear's there to kind of mop up the rest of the work. It just seems like an amateuristic move. I mean, the last director of football was Dennis fucking Wise. Dennis Wise, who left a job as Leeds manager to become a director of football. That makes no sense. If you want him as a manager, get him as a manager. If you want a director of football, sign a director of football. Sign somebody who's got kind of links everywhere. Sven-Göran Eriksson, God love him, would probably be a good director of football because he knows and has slept with everyone. He can open doors where the likes of Joe Kinnear probably can't. Although he could probably sign some Luton players. Luton and Wimbledon. Yeah, Joe Kinnear's going to be a draw when we try and pull the next young French starlet out, or a top player from the German league, or top player from the Dutch league. It's alright, guys. Joe Kinnear's here to save the effing day. It genuinely boggles the mind. What's your opinion on Joe Kinnear? Do you think he's going to be a good choice? Do you think he's going to be a bad choice? Let me know. My Twitter at the Gnome as usual, and we can have a good laugh about it, whilst also kind of cursing and hating the situation. So, Joe Kinnear, if you're watching, get in touch. I would quite like to speak to you to find out what your plans are, what players that you know that we're going to bring, the 5 players that you think we're going to sell, because we've got such a voluminous squad that we can definitely have 5 players leave, none come in, and be in a perfect position for next season. I'd love to know your plans. So, let us know. I'm sure everyone would like to know. You've talked an awful lot of bollocks so far, so why not continue that? So, if you haven't watched it, let us know. If not, enjoy. So, thank you much everyone for watching. Good night.